Yes, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's Egal Talks Football. We're back again with another video. Today, we're going to have the wonderful, the man, the myth, the legend, Dan Potts joining us at some point throughout this video. Shout out to him for the raid. Big up to everyone who's just joined us over from his channel. Please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button. And let's get the show started the right way by hitting that intro. Yes, people. What's going on? It's Egal Talks Football. Let's talk about it. Arsenal are set to appoint a new sporting director in March of 2025. Yes, David Ornstein has reported that Arsenal are on the cusp of getting this situation sorted. And as Dan is about to join us soon, he will join us to speak about it. Reportedly from David Ornstein himself, Arsenal are looking to get this done very, very soon. And it has been reported that we're going to see what happens in this situation. Now, Arsenal set to appoint a new sporting director in 2025. They're on the brink of appointing a sporting director after Edu left following his option to join Nottingham Forest. Some of the candidates are none other than Jason Eto'o, Dan Ashworth, Andre Berta, Robert, formerly from Real Sociedad, and Thiago. These are some of the candidates that people are saying are currently being linked to Arsenal. I personally don't know enough about every single one of these candidates, but let me give you a little bit of a breakdown of who each one of these people are and what we could potentially see from them before Dan joins in and we have a conversation with him. First, you have Eto'o. Eto'o is currently Arsenal's interim DOF. What's up, Dan? What's going on? Big up, Dan.
Hope hey, bro.
Yeah, Dan, I just wanted to get started because I seen a bunch of people.
Yeah, no, sorry, man. I just finished, so I should be people with you. I've sent them over here. So big up to everyone that's come over from 12th, man. And big up to Egal. Big up to you, man. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. I was just seeing you going through that news thinking, wow, we might actually get an appointment in the next couple of weeks. I hope we do.
Yeah, the goal apparently is for Arsenal to have their appointment done by March 2025. That's the goal. These are the candidates, and let me walk you through them. David Ornstein first reported it, and these are the candidates. Big up to everyone in the comment section. Do me a favor, please do hit that like button. Let's get this video past at least 100 likes. It helps out the channel massively. You guys don't understand. And I'm gonna also, of course, put Dan's channel in the link. But if you guys are here, you already know Dan's channel. Come on, let's be honest. One of the biggest, fastest growing Arsenal channels on YouTube right now. Big up to Dan every time. Let's get this going, man. So big up Doc right here. He's actually a real doctor, and on the side he does Arsenal content. Big up to him. He said he broke it down for us. So Eto'o, Arsenal's interim DOF right now. I think he's failed us in the January window, and I don't think he's deserving of a reward in a promotion at this moment in time. Dan Ashworth was sacked at Manchester United, and I've heard some news like people are saying Dan Ashworth, he is not the most agreeable person to have around, hence why he didn't work at Manchester United. And at Newcastle, he did wonders. But people are also saying how much of that is down to him and how much of that is down to Newcastle's ambition. So people have questions over Dan Ashworth. This is one of the people. These next two are the ones that a lot of people are saying are the most interesting. Andre Berta was at Atletico Madrid. This is a man who has signed a lot of quality players for Atletico Madrid, kept them competitive. And you know something? People are saying he's the guy we should look at. If I'm not mistaken, he was at Atletico Madrid for a long portion of his time in his career. He was sporting director at Atletico Madrid for how many years? He was there for so many years. He signed the likes of Thomas Partey, the Ballon d'Or winner, Rodri. He's been there. He's helped them win league titles, and people do compare us to Atletico Madrid sometimes, so it might be interesting. Also, you have the guy who stepped down at Real Sociedad. He's the DOF at Real Sociedad, and the current Monaco director, which is Thiago. And by the way, Luis Campos rumored that it's not going to happen. Luis Campos is off the table. So Dan, hearing about Arsenal's new potential sporting director signing, what do you think?
Out of those names, I hope it is not Jason Ato. I hope it is not Mertesacker or Thomas Rosicky, and I hope it is not
Thomas Rosicky is not on the short list.
Good, and I hope it is not Dan Ashworth. Out of the names provided there, I would be happy with Andrea Berta. I would be happy with Robert Alabi, and I'd be happy with Scuro. But I wouldn't be happy with the other names. I need these people to be experienced. I need them to be in their role for a long period of time, and I need them to have actually achieved something, whether it be not winning something at their club, whether it be signings, whether it be looking at the scouting department, looking at the transitions or transfers, negotiations. That's why I need them to be experienced at. That's what we need at Arsenal right now if we want a decent summer. I actually think this appointment could be one of the biggest, most important signings we make now. And replacing Edu is vital. And I'm glad we're doing it ASAP and not waiting until June, July, when the window's about to open. So for me, it's good. It would make sense that it's one of the latter, because at the moment I would say that Alabi and Berta are probably easier to get because one of them's stepping down, one of them has stepped down. Scuro is actually currently at Monaco, so I can't see that happening unless he wants to leave or we can tempt him out of there. I'll be happy with either of those appointments, actually. I'll be
Dan
happy.
Ashworth, you're 50-50 on him? Why is that?
I don't like what's happened with him at Manchester United because there was a strong rumour that he was adamant about appointing Gareth Southgate as the manager of Manchester United. That worries me massively. And I'm not saying that he should get rid of Arteta and get Gareth Southgate, right? But what I'm saying is that it would worry me if that's the kind of talent that he wants to bring into a football club. I would not like that. And that's why I would say that. And I don't think that he was as amazing as at Brighton and Newcastle as people are making out. That's just my opinion. I look at Brighton and Newcastle now. I don't see what Dan Ashworth did that they're not already currently doing or continue to do. That's all I would say on that. But I think with Andrea Berta, you can see how successful Atletico Madrid have been in the last decade. You can see what they've done under Diego Simeone. You can see how they've achieved stuff when Ronaldo and Messi were in that league. He managed to actually
that also.
And Sociedad, look, Alabi's been brilliant at Sociedad in terms of the players that he's brought in. You know, we've spoken about Isak, we've spoken about Zubimendi, we've spoken about Ødegaard, and you can bring in more than that as well with other players that have been there. So I'd be happy with one of those appointments, man. I would. I just want it to be someone. I don't want it to be Arteta's mate. I don't want it to be one of somebody played with or something. You know, I want it to be someone who's got experience because I believe personally, and I know you think differently to me. I think he needs a right hand man that says, Mikel, no. Don't do that. Do this. This works. He needs experience alongside him. We've got no experience at board level or at ownership level, Egal. We're absolutely screwed when it comes to that level. Even at our coaching kind of level is very, very inexperienced and young. So we need now players, people around.
That I was speaking to about Richard Garlick recently, or was it Sophie? Garlick. Sophie was saying on your channel, Richard Garlick was the only person who could challenge Arteta. Now some of these guys, they might not be able to challenge him as much. And that's honestly a true reflection of how some people feel, some fans feel also. So I agree. Sporting director is crucial. And we also need to make sure we take the power away from some of these people who are lawyers in the club, because there's too many people, there's too many lawyers, there's too many people who don't have power. And you know something? We might have to revisit Edu's time at Arsenal because he wanted Paqueta. He wanted Bruno G. He got us Gabriel. As much as we credit Arteta for signings, Edu really wanted to bring a big Brazilian contingency to the club, which the club kind of said we don't want nothing to do with some of these guys because
we know now Edu was not the problem. That's what we do know, because players have come in and since he's gone, we've been a shambles. Now I'm not saying it was all Edu, but we know he was not the problem. That it was not Edu that was the issue as to why we weren't having great transfer windows, because we're still having bad ones without him. That's all I would say.
You know something? I think we're going to get onto Arteta in a second. If we are going to get any sporting director, whoever it is, it cannot be Jason Eto. It cannot be Dan Ashworth. Just get me somebody who's won major honors with, or have competed at a high level. And I think the Real Sociedad guy or the Atletico Madrid director, those two are my two favorites at this point. Hopefully we get one of them too.
I agree.
Okay, and let's go on to the next thing. There's a lot of things been trending. But before we go any further on to any of the other things that have been trending, we got to talk about the title race and we got to talk about the injuries, brother. You know, I love to talk about injuries. Did you see Stephen Warnock on Match of the Day?
Go on, he said. I didn't watch it.
said if Liverpool lost. Let me show you. So this is what Stephen Warnock said. Stephen Warnock basically said if Liverpool lost Mo Salah, Jota, Diaz, and Gakpo, they would not be in the position they're in. And I think that is honestly the 100% the truth. But the problem I find is nobody seems to be willing to have this uncomfortable conversation because it is a reality situation. Now, I'm not saying Liverpool aren't having a good season. I'm not trying to belittle Liverpool. I'm just simply saying if they had the same injuries that we had at this moment in time this season, throughout the run of the season, roles would probably be reversed.
Okay, let me answer that. So, Liverpool have had injuries this season. They haven't had as many as Arsenal at the same time. You've proven that with your stats, that they've had 7 of the first 11 that have been fit for the majority of the season. The last time Salah was injured for 12 games, how many games did Liverpool win?
I don't know.
Have a guess.
Was that not the time when they had Mane and Roberto Firmino?
I don't know when it was, but when they had him out, they won 10 of their 12 games. So they have won games before without Salah, is my point. They would still score goals. If they had them all out at the same time, they would at the moment, let's say that they had Salah out for our Saka, they have Jota out for our Havertz, and they have, let's just say Gakpo out for our Martinelli. Their front three would be Diaz, Nunez, and Harvey Elliott, or Chiesa, depends which one you want, right? Is that better than Sterling, Trossard, and Nwaneri?
Okay, let me say this.
Or Sterling, Trossard, and Marino, sorry.
Attack for attack. If you take out Mo Salah, Jota, Gakpo, and Diaz, the rest of their team is going to be Nunez, 1, Chiesa, 2, and who's going to be the next one?
It'll be Luis Diaz or Gakpo, whichever one is not injured.
No. I'm saying 4 players are injured because we currently have 4 players injured. So if we go to Liverpool's depth chart and we say take 4 out of their 6 attackers, they're going to be left with Chiesa, Nunez, and they're going to have to play
Harvey Elliott.
They're going to have to play Harvey Elliott.
Yeah,
and that's going to be like our equivalent to Ethan. So you tell me right now, Nunez, Chiesa, Harvey Elliott, does that win you games, bro? That same front 3 got them knocked out of the FA Cup.
Yeah, and it's a great point because they'd struggle. 100% they'd struggle. But I do believe that they would deal with they have dealt with their injuries better than Arsenal have this season. I don't think
they have not had the same relative amount of injuries. They've dealt with the goalkeeper situation quite well. They've dealt with a couple players out here and there quite well. But really and truly, they have been fortunate with injuries in comparison to Man City and Arsenal. And I don't think that is a knock on them. That's credit to them having maybe done better than us in managing. But then I look at the minutes played, and their players have played more minutes than majority of our players. Now,
so that front 3 would absolutely be horrendous, right? However, at least they have a front 3 that actually plays in their positions.
Chiesa is just as bad as Sterling right now. He's barely played well.
He's probably as bad, yeah, but he's definitely not worse than him. He's absolutely terrible, Sterling.
He's
Nwaneri, I love Nwaneri.
I absolutely
love Nwaneri. Him and Elliott of kind of, when you look at Elliott, you think, wow, he's played more games, more experience. But Nwaneri is unbelievable. Trossard, I mean, people are just sleeping on him. They're making out like Trossard.
Nwaneri's played more games than Harvey Elliott, actually.
There you go. So, and then you look at what's his name, Trossard. I mean, people are making out that Trossard's our 6th choice or something. Most people want to play him ahead of Martinelli because they say he's not good enough, Martinelli. So, and Nwaneri they love. And then it's a Sterling or Marino conversation. And this is the thing, Egal, right? We're trying to play Sterling or Marino or somebody up top. We've tried Trossard up there. At least, as much as I think he's awful, by the way, in front of goal, at least Darwin Nunez is an £80 million striker they bought. Then you've got Harvey Elliott, who's one of their better players, like we've got Ethan coming on. And then you've got Chiesa. So when you look at that and you look at the squad, I would say Liverpool have actually dealt with their squad better. I mean, I think they've got a better squad than Arsenal, personally. They've definitely got some better world-class players than Arsenal in terms of Alisson, Trent and Salah, who have been injured, by the way. Yeah, Jota's made of glass. He's always injured. Gomez is always injured. Konate's been injured. Trent's been injured. Alisson's been injured. So it's not like Liverpool have had this like 11 players fit every single game. And when we had, people are saying, oh, Liverpool are lucky with they haven't had anyone injured. Well, neither did we last year, and we still didn't bloody win the league. So it's just like there is literally every excuse under the sun each year. Last year it was Pep's too good. This year, Arteta, this slot's lucky because he hasn't had injuries. Oh, no, hang on, we've had injuries. Yeah, but I know he's had injuries, but he did inherit a winning. So hang on a minute, Klopp won one title in 9 years with this bloody squad. So sometimes we have to look at ourselves, Egal. That's my point. And I think with fans like yourself and others, it's like, right, let's just get everything away from Arteta, everything away from my club, it's everyone else. And I think sometimes we need to look within, bro.
We're going to talk about Arteta. We're going to talk about within now. Forget about some of the external stuff. We'll talk about that in a second. Now, summer signings, can we forget about Sterling and Neto? Those two, irrelevant. We agree, right?
Yeah.
Is the summer transfer window now worse than you actually thought it was?
It's as bad as I thought it was, maybe if not worse. The reason I say that is I was trying to be positive about the two signings in Calafiori and Marino, and they have not been good. Now, I'm not saying they've been a shambles because that's harsh, because they have had injuries, but they haven't been good. Marino has scored some goals and is quite a threat from set pieces. That's it. So we've bought 38 million euros on a player that can stand up there and hopefully get his bonds on it one day. And we've bought another 40 million pound defender playing at left back who looks so uncomfortable at left back. Very rash, booked again last night within the first minute. For me, got absolutely cooked again, like he did against Wan-Bissaka, and looks better when he's on the ball going forward. So we bought a defender who can't defend and can't play left back, but looks better going forward in the final third. That has been a poor signing so far. Marino, poor signing so far. Another number 8 that we're now playing up front because he's quite tall and can get his bonds on it. I don't know what his positioning was. I don't know what the positioning was of Calafiori.
He was playing left back yesterday.
Yeah. If you said to me now, £80 million, do you want Gyökeres or do you want Marino and Calafiori? Which are you doing? You're getting Gyökeres, bro. So why did we do this? This was a poor window. I gave it a 3 or a 4, and everyone said that's incredibly harsh, Dan. Yeah, I should have put a minus in front of it. That's how bad it was.
You were right. Looking back at it, I thought, forget about these signings. Regardless what we do in the summer, I thought we had a good enough team to win the league if we stay fit. And I still don't know if I'm wrong about that. Because I think if Bukayo Saka stayed fit, if Martinelli stayed fit, if Kai Havertz stayed, you know what? We might need to reevaluate Kai Havertz's importance to this team. Because now that he's injured, people are starting to realize how, even though he misses a lot of chances, he does offer us a lot more going forward than people actually
I don't think we've ever got it wrong about him in the squad. I think people have got it wrong about him being our number 1, number 9 striker. We don't need another striker. That's where people have gone wrong. He definitely does contribute. I've never ever looked at this Havertz signing and gone, that is something I never ever want to see in my team. I thought it was ridiculous money and crazy wages. He's definitely not the number 9 that we want to win us a title, but he's certainly got a place in the squad, bruv. 100%.
But you know what? People are reviving history. Like Livs is one of my guys. I seen him on Twitter. He posted this, and it's just really sparked an interesting conversation on social media. He's blaming the board spending 170 million on Kai Havertz and Declan Rice collectively in 2022 to the 2024 summer or 2023 summer, saying this is one of the main reasons why we've transformed into what we are today, and it's not as.
I'm a fan of Livs. I like Livs a lot. Livs and might get on, but I disagree with this. Okay, the reason I disagree with this is okay. Actually, I don't disagree with all of it.
Do you think spending 170 million on these two was wrong?
Yeah. Okay, so I agree with half of it. I don't think spending money on Declan Rice was a bad thing, right? I think spending 70 million and putting that man on that much money a week was one of the worst decisions Mikel Arteta's made. And that kind of sounds hypocritical for what I've just said, because I do see Havertz as a squad player. But if you give me now the money, I would not have signed him, right? I would have not signed Havertz. I would have happily signed Declan Rice because I think he is a baller. I'm a big fan of him, right? But I never would have signed Kai Havertz for that much money, because what he's done with that man now is he's put us in a really difficult position to move forward with him. We don't really know what his position is. We think it's a 9, but he's been playing him and dropping him in. And I was speaking to Jack, big him up yesterday, and he said, you know what will happen when we sign Sesko, don't you? Because he thinks we're going to get Sesko. He said that it would be Kai Havertz back in midfield in the 8 and Sesko up top. And I just thought, no, please.
But Kai Havertz in midfield offers us more of an attacking threat than what we currently have in our midfield.
It doesn't work, Egal. He's terrible. He's terrible in midfield. We've seen this not work, bro. So my argument would be, if you want to play Kai Havertz, you bring him on for 25 minutes to impact the game, or you start him and you bring him off in games. That's all you need to do with him. He's just the number 9, right? Next season, he needs to be our backup number 9, and that's fine. It's absolutely fine. Stop forcing him in the bloody side, Mikel. Yeah? Because when we play him in midfield, we stink out the gaff. The times that he did drop him back in there against Villa and Bayern Munich, what happened? We lost both and we went out of both the Premier League and the Champions League. So stop doing it, Mikel. You can see where he plays. He's clearly a number 9. He causes havoc and chaos when he brought him on. It was the game against, who did we play in the Champions League? Monaco. Porto. He brought him on, and no, this season. He brought him on this season against Monaco with 20 minutes to go. He changed the game. We won 3-0. He was really good. He set up a goal and scored one, right? That is what Kai Havertz should be. So I do not understand why we have this argument about whether he can play in the 8 or the attacking 10. No. I've been more than happy to drop Odegaard in the 8 and go and buy a proper number 10. Be happy to do that, or the other way around. Leave Odegaard in the 10, bring in a proper 8. I think we need to do that as well. But let's just be real, man. Kai Havertz in the 8 is an absolute disaster. And this was originally where Arteta thought his position was, by the way. Yeah, it was by accident that we put him up top. So for me, the Kai Havertz signing was a bad one.
He actually played more games in the attacking midfield for us for a season than he did in the striker.
Let me ask you, do you think he could have spent 170 million better?
I think the 100 million was well worth the money. On Declan Rice, 105 million. Well worth
70 on Havertz was a joke.
As for the 65 on Kai Havertz, I personally wouldn't have even got Jesus. I would have got Isaac when we signed Jesus.
Facts.
I would have got instead of getting, what do you call it, Jorginho, I would have tried to get somebody else before that. I would have tried to get Caicedo. Like 100%. I think we can even go further back and say we should have got Bruno G when we had the opportunity to get him in when we were in the top 5, when we were in the top 4 battle. Though that's how far back I look at the mistakes that we've made as Arsenal Football Club. Now, this is where, when the blame game happens, because this is the title of the video, the blame game in Arsenal, because the blame game has already begun. They're blaming Kai Havertz, they're blaming Declan Rice. We've blamed Edu in the past, as we've already discussed, and everything that we're speaking about goes back to the blame game. But who holds the ultimate blame for you? Is it the Kroenkes? Because as reported just the other day, bro, the Kroenkes are the kind of owners, they sit back and they let the football people run the club. Are the Kroenkes to blame for everything? Or do you think some of they don't even deserve blame because they don't do much? They don't control the club. Unlike other clubs where the owner has a say over signings or the owner has day-to-day impact in the club. Let's be 100% honest. The Kroenkes, they have a hands-off approach to Arsenal Football Club. Love it or hate it, they do not impact the day-to-day as much as other clubs' owners do. And that, be it a good thing or a bad thing, then how can you blame them if they've left these people in charge to run the club and they're the ones that are making these stupid mistakes?
Because they are the ones that are in control. They have had control to not allow themselves to be in control. They've got control of that. They can get themselves more involved. They can start making footballing decisions, but they can't. They're unable to because they're not footballing men. So they do not understand the sport. They do not understand the club. They do not really understand the history of the club. They've never come and spoken to the fan base. They've never wanted to get involved heavily with the club. They're happy to spend money that we generate. They're happy to live on a self-sustaining model, but spending £200 million of your own money as billionaires across a 17 to 18-year period is neglect of a football club that wants to win. And that is why, Egal, the process was to get back into the Champions League. It was never to win. It is to get back into the Champions League, which is why in the Europa League we signed Gabriel and Saliba, Ben White and Odegaard, Aubameyang and Lacazette, Tierney. And then we got into the Champions League and we was like, right, Declan Rice. And I thought to myself, finally, these owners have woken up. Here we go. Who we getting next?
From what you've heard from Josh Kroenke, does that sound like somebody who doesn't want to win?
Oh, it sounds like somebody who wants to win on the interviews I've heard. But it doesn't sound like someone who wants to win outside of it. It's all talk, mate. I need to see action. I can tell you now, Egal, if you give me 10 minutes of your time, I'll make you a millionaire. You better believe it. Trust me, you better believe it. And if you don't believe it, you're a crazy man.
Josh
and then
Kroenke,
10 years later, you're going, Dan, didn't you say you're going to make me a millionaire?
Josh
yeah,
Kroenke,
I told you that, but no action. I can sit back and go, this guy thinks he's going to be a millionaire. What a fool. So,
Josh Kroenke, in his interview in 2019, August 2019, when he said, be excited, from then onwards, I seen a more ambitious ownership.
In
From
what
the
way?
signings, from going from signing Nicolas Pepe, Saliba, David Luiz, getting Kieran Tierney, Danny Ceballos on loan. That was the first window I started to see Arsenal be ambitious. From then onward,
have you realised now though that was to get into the Champions League, not to win? Because since we've got into the Champions League, that stopped.
I disagree. Since we've gone into the Champions League, did we not spend a record 105 million on Declan Rice?
Yep, good start. What happens there after that? That wasn't enough to win us.
One second. We have tried to kick on, but now it's gotten to a point, Dan, where I believe your team is so good, you cannot spend chump change to improve the team. You have to spend big to improve the team. So maybe sometimes you can't spend huge amounts of money every window.
So you need to be ambitious.
There's going to be times where you're going to have to drop 20, 30 to grab some artillery, small pieces. And then you can if they don't go big this summer, Dan, I fully agree with you. But I have hope that they will go big this summer.
They've just spent nothing over 2 windows in January and summer. Was that not enough?
They tried to spend money in January. I genuinely think the ownership gave them the money to go get Nico Williams done. For the last 2 windows, they had the money to get Nico Williams done.
Why didn't they give them the money to go and get Watkins? Why didn't they give them the money to go and get Watkins then?
Because they dilly-dallied. Watkins, they wanted Watkins, but they only wanted Watkins for 40 million. Once they realized that Watkins deal could not happen anymore, because Arsenal, they don't do things quick. They wait until it's too late. Aston Villa came to us and they said, take it or leave it. This is the offer. We said, we stalled. Next thing you know, they sell their second striker and we're fucked. This is Dan. It's
Why
not
did we not get Cunha then? 60 million.
I don't think they wanted Cunha that much.
Well, we were desperate.
I think we as fans are more desperate to win than these guys are saying, you know what, we're not gonna sacrifice future signings for short-term potential signings.
They white flagged this season then. They white flagged this season.
They ruined it. They ruined the season by not signing somebody. Now, I'm just trying to be devil's advocate. I'm trying to give you the logic behind what I'm seeing and what I've heard. From what I've heard, Arsenal
should heads roll then. Should heads roll because of that decision. I
think the people running the club are so scared of making mistakes that they're not willing to put themselves in risky situations.
I want them gone then.
This is job preservation for certain guys like Richard Garlick, for Jason Eto. It's job preservation. They're not really going far. They're not really going hard in it. And I think Arteta is getting a hard amount of blame for January when he does not have the control over the signings. He has control over saying, you know what, let me get this player or that player. But I don't think he has the control to say, hey, we have to sanction a loan deal for Tel. We have to sanction.
You just said that they don't want to get players in now. They want to wait till the summer for their proper target. So that's Arteta to blame then.
Do you think that's only Arteta?
No, he's part of it though.
Arteta wanted Isaac. Arteta wanted Nico Williams. Arteta wants
we can't get them in January. So what happened in January then? Arteta just said wait till the summer.
I don't think Arteta said wait till the summer. I think Arsenal fucked up the deal because Aston Villa wanted to sell the player for 60 million. Instead of saying yes, we tried to negotiate and stalled. Next thing you know, Aston Villa took it off the table because they sold their next player. We fucked it up ourselves. We wanted Ollie Watkins. We just didn't want to pay the first offering price. We tried to be smart. That's what it seems like. That's what they reported. We offered 40 million.
Go up to them with this powerful voice of his and say, "Listen, we ain't getting no one. Trust me."
Apparently, he can say over my dead body in the interview that we're not out of the title race, but he can't tell them over my dead body we're not going to sign up in January.
That's the thing.
I agree with you. I agree with you there, by the way.
I'll say about him, man. And I don't even know that we wanted Watkins. I think it was all a bloody look. We tried sort of attitude.
No, come on, bro. You don't make bids if you don't make fake bids just to PR.
I don't think it was a fake bid. I think it was a real bid. I think we bid 40, and because they knew it would get rejected, it'd be laughable. And now we don't want to pay 60. It's too much. But we tried. Let's go in the summer.
Okay, so you're saying forget about the Kroenkes. The Kroenkes are not only the problem. You also blame the board and Arteta.
Yep. I blame everybody because it was a joint combination of failure. Yeah, well, no, you don't ever think Arteta's the problem. We
No,
could
no,
lose
but can I
5-0 and you'll
explain
go,
to
at
you
least
my
it's not
logic?
6.
Can I explain to you my logic? Why Arteta's not a problem? I think Arteta is the actual solution who's gotten this team to this level. Now, the reason being his tactics, the reason being his ability to get the best out of some of these players, the ability to continue to push this team forward, even with them holding us back in certain key areas. He's gotten a title challenge, the most amount of goals scored out of the likes of Kai Havertz, Martinelli, Trossard, and Bukayo Saka. Now, are any of those guys on the same level of the Man City attack, of the Liverpool attack, or even attacks of the old Premier League title challenging teams or title winning teams? I would say no, but he's been able to get this team that nobody rates, the attack wise, that nobody rates, that says is nowhere near to a caliber which is abundantly clear is way above what they're
You just said
capable of.
he's managed to get this team no one rates. Who signed this team? Who signed the players that no one rates? Mikel Arteta. So it's fair enough people saying that this team is just not good enough. Well, 31 players he's bought, and there's about 8 or 9 of them that have been good. The other 15, 16, 17, or whatever it be, have been absolutely shambolic.
Who has he signed that's not good?
Who has he signed that's not good?
No, like right now, who's in the team?
Who's he signed that's not good? So I'll tell you, it'd be easy to say who he signed that is good. I like Raya. I like Timber. I like White. I like Gabriel. I actually think he's been Arteta's best signing.
Did Thomas Partey sign under?
Yeah, Thomas Partey. I like. No. Thomas Partey was Arteta's signing. I rate Thomas Partey. I rate Odegaard. I know people don't. I know me and Lee. It's probably one of the only things me and Lee don't disagree on is that I rate Odegaard and he doesn't. And now I'm struggling. So that's 6. Now I'm starting to struggle. Declan Rice, sorry, I'll add him. That's 7.
Declan Rice. Do you rate Kai?
No, I don't think that's a good signing. I can't put that as a hit. I'm sorry, I can't. That's 7. So
do you
the
think
only other one I would be fair. It's unfair because of his recency bias. I probably would throw in Trossard for the money and what he's done and delivered.
Do you think it's impressive that Arteta's been able to compete with this team, even though we acknowledge that the ownership have made mistakes, the board have made mistakes?
Yeah, and I've given him praise for challenging.
And he has
praise for that.
Dan, I've said this on your channel.
Go on.
I said this on your channel. I say it again here. I feel like he's the only person I fully trust out of the board and the people running the club.
I don't trust anybody at this football club, including him, because he's lied to me. He's lied by saying the Kroenkes are the hungriest sport people that he's ever worked with when he's been at Man City.
That's
right?
Not true.
Yeah. He's also lied by saying that, if I'm honest with you, I don't even need to. It's quite cringy, some of the stuff that he's come out with actually of late. I mean, the other day when I know you agree with him, but when he is sitting there and he is actually coming out and blaming the red cards and VARs and all these decisions and saying that we should be mid-table, I actually look at him and I think you've just made yourself look silly there. Let me explain why. He's assembled this squad. Right, we've just gone through the players that we rate and the players that we don't rate, and we've gone through the 11. He believes right now that team that he's assembled should be mid-table. That's insulting to the players. That's massively insulting to the players.
He's saying with the amount of injuries and stuff, other teams would be mid-table.
Yeah, and I think that is crazy to go through what that squad was compared to West Ham's and say that should be fighting with Palace, Brentford, and Fulham. That is a disgrace. Unless you think Raya and Timber and White and all these guys are rubbish.
They have injuries. They've been mid-table for
they're not mid-table, man. They're top 4. Come on. They're not mid-table. Mid-table to me is like between 9th and 13th he's talking about. And out of the Champions League, another one. So he thinks we should be a 24th in that new format. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, he's coming out with excuses and he's not looking at himself. Now, I don't care what you say. There is definite factors as to why Mikel Arteta is not essentially 100% to blame at Arsenal, right? But there's definitely games this season where he's been to blame for in-game management, for bad substitutions, for poor team selections, for poor style of play, 0-0 games, 0-0 at Everton, can't beat Fulham still. Like, come on, man. West Ham, we're losing. We've lost to Bournemouth. We've lost to Newcastle. There is definitely, and that's without red cards, by the way, other than Bournemouth. So for me, I look at it and I think there is definitely 100% ways in which Arteta could improve in his management of Arsenal. Now, I'm not saying that that's the sole problem. I personally would replace him at the end of the season if we don't win the Champions League, which I don't think we're going to do, because he's not won nothing again for 5 years.
You might as well say you want him replaced right now.
Well, I do. I was going to say that, but people could call me negative because we could still win the Champions League, apparently. So, yes, I do want him
We're not going to win the Champions League with that.
Well, there we go. And I think he should be replaced because I think that team that he's assembled is good enough to win a trophy.
You were on FTV yesterday. Did that guy actually believe we could win the Champions League?
Who's that, sorry?
The gentleman who said we could still win the Champions League with a terrible attack.
Oh, Christian. Yeah, I don't think he's being serious. I think he's trying to be positive, if I'm honest. But let's just be real. There are some people like Ty and some of the others, Julian, that will believe that we can go and win something still, even with these three. The only hope we have now is Saka and Martinelli come back fully fit to the end of the season by like March. That's the only chance we have of winning the Champions League.
But you do realize sacking Arteta does not guarantee the next person coming in is going to be any better.
Correct. And like it was
why is everyone
does not guarantee that
change so much?
Because I believe he's been given a chance now. I believe I've been incredibly patient. And do you know what, Egal? I actually went out of my way and said, this guy deserves some praise, you know. Off the pitch, he's been great in culture change. And on the pitch, we're in a title race, and I never thought he'd get us there. Now I've been incredibly patient because it's about delivering. It's about getting across the line. It's about now this is your team. It's about what are you going to win me? If you can get managers like Ten Hag that can win a bloody trophy, why can't he? Who I don't rate, by the way, Ten Hag. So that's why I need him to deliver. If he can't deliver, it's done. And you said if he does not win something this season, he needs to go. Right? That's what you said. Now, the goalposts are changing with everyone again. Last season, it was Pep's too good. This season, it's Slot and Liverpool too good. He's inherited Klopp's side. Now it's injuries. Now it's referees.
No, it wasn't. It's not too good. I think without the injuries, bro, we win this league. Without some of these silly-ass red cards, we would still be 1 point off Liverpool.
Do you think Liverpool deserve to win it this year?
Liverpool have been better than us based on the fact that they've had all their players available and Mo Salah. Outside of Mo Salah,
let me ask you this then: what would you like to happen?
I would like Arteta and Arsenal to go again next season. Try to see if we can get more squad depth, so we don't run into these same injury problems. The main issue I'm gonna have is with Jorginho and Partey both leaving. I don't think it's a good idea. We should keep maybe Partey for at least a 1 more or 2 year deal just to keep him in the team. If we're gonna sign Zubimendi, I still think the midfield can add 1 more piece on top of Zubimendi. So I'd keep Jorginho. So I'd keep Partey, get Zubimendi in, get maybe what do you call it? We're gonna end up getting that backup Garcia goalkeeper to be the backup for Raya in case of injuries. And 2 forwards. Nico Williams looks like he's going to be the guy we're targeting, and he could be a revelation on the left wing. And then the striker, it looks like it's going to be Sesko. But if I'm Arsenal, I put in a cheeky 130 million pound bid for Isak and say, You know what, fuck it.
So do you think with a striker and a winger, let's just say we get Williams and Isak. Right, let's just say that we're not going to. Actually, let's be realistic. Let's be realistic then. Let's say we get Sesko and Williams. Right, let's say we get Sesko and Williams, and we get Zubimendi and that Garcia goalkeeper. That's our summer. Right, we'll probably get another defender because I imagine a few of them will.
We'll probably get a young midfielder.
Okay, that's that. So that's that. What's the expectation then with Arteta?
Forget about that. What's the perfect summer for you before we say what is realistic?
So I don't care about the goalkeeper because Raya's number 1. So I'm happy to get that Garcia guy because I don't really care who it is. I'd rather it be an experienced guy that comes in that's actually good, not Neto. I would like to go and get Yoel Hato, if I'm honest, from Ajax because I think he'd be a really good centre-half.
Another left-back.
Cover. Well, he's left-sided centre-back, isn't he, that can play left-back. But we're going to need one because Kivior's going to go, right? I'd like us to go and get Zubimendi because I do think he's a very good CDM. I'd like us to go and get Morgan Rogers because I think he's an unbelievable baller from Villa. I'd like to see us get Brian Mbeumo, and then I'd like to see us get Lookman or Cunha, and then I want Isak or Gyökeres. That's the summer that I would like.
So how many is that? 5?
Yeah, there's 5 or 6 there. Yeah.
Wait. Let's go back. Goalkeeper, centre back, 2 forwards, 2 midfielders, or 1 midfielder.
So we've got goalkeeper. Let's just say Garcia because I don't really care to be honest. A defender, Zubimendi and Rogers, Brian Mbeumo, Cunha, and Isak or Gyökeres. That's 7.
How much is Rogers going to cost? He's going to cost more than all the other players.
Probably, but we need an 8. We need an attacking 8, man, because we ain't got one. We got bloody Marino who stands up and tries to get his bonds on it. That's all he's got. And Rice is going to be our 8, which I don't like, by the way, because Zubamendi's coming in. So that's what I'm saying. We're gonna have to get 2. We're gonna have to get 2, man, because if Partey and Jorginho are going, we need 2 midfielders coming in, don't we? Yeah. Can't just get 1. So that's why I think this is the problem. We're gonna need 7.
Where do we leave ourselves short? Because we keep leaving ourselves short.
We're still gonna leave ourselves short up top. That's what
you think we're only gonna sign 1 forward?
I think we'll get a striker, and that'll be it.
So it better be Isak.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we'll get this
Williams. I heard Nico Williams told his people in Spain that he's coming.
Right. Well, maybe we get him then as well. I mean, none of us know that we were all guessing, but I mean that's what I'm kind of thinking. If we leave ourselves short, it will probably be. No, actually, do you know what? I'll change it. I think we're going to leave ourselves short in midfield.
That's where I think it's going to be the problem. So we're going to sort out the attack. We're going to sort out the defense, and then now we're going to say, well, we fucked up the midfield again. Jorginho and Partey are a big miss. That's why I want to keep Partey for 1 more season.
I would do that. I would do that.
Because then at least it gives us that safety blanket. Because Jorginho, really and truly, what is Jorginho offering us? Nothing. He's just a body.
And I'll play a double pivot next season. Arteta
said he doesn't need. And also, if Zubamendi is as good as everybody says he is, he should acclimatize to the Premier League quite quickly.
Yeah.
We shouldn't need a transition.
We need a double pivot next season. No more this 6 and 8 crap. We need a double pivot of Partey and Zubamendi. Sorry, Rice and Zubamendi, and Partey as backup. Yeah, and then Marino can come in.
Exactly. What we need to play is a 4 at the back with a 2-3-1.
2-3-1. That's what we need.
4-2-3-1, and that 1 can be rotated. You could have a second striker and Kai. Sometimes you can have Odegaard in there, and even if Nico Williams has to play in there, sometimes he can play in there too. That works, because I don't think playing this thing where we basically have a box-to-box midfielder in Rice. We have a 6 who stays, and then we have a Odegaard who is like, I don't know what he's doing for us in defense. I don't know what he's doing for us in the midfield. He's just really getting onto the ball and passing it, and he's not
Odegaard
really
needs to play. Odegaard needs to lift his game. I don't think he's still fully fit, bro.
I think Odegaard's injured, and he's playing injured. Like, he's not 100%. This guy's play. He's trying to do something without. He's not been himself since he came back from his ankle injury. Let's be 100.
I agree. I don't think he's good enough there. But look, man, let's
talk about one more thing quickly.
Yeah, go on.
Before we go anything else, 3P finishing second. Do you think we're going to finish second for the 3rd year in a row?
No.
You think we're going to finish 3rd?
I think we're going to finish 3rd. I think Man City might get ahead of us. You know,
they're 7 points behind us.
7. Yeah, Newcastle and City are the only 2 that worry me. Forest, I think, might slip a bit, and Chelsea aren't good enough. I would say
mathematically, there's a higher chance of us finishing second than any other position in the league right now, obviously, because of such a wide gap between us and the next best team.
I mean, look, we could finish second, but I don't really care, if I'm honest, where we come now. Like, if we're not going to win it, I don't care if we come 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th, because we get Champions League football. We all get the same. Like, when do you remember anyone going, we come 2nd, you come 4th? Hey. I don't give a damn. I couldn't give a shit. We're all lost. We all lost, and luckily we're all going to play Champions League, and the ones below us are going to play Europa League. That's the way I look at it. I'm sorry, people look at it differently.
That's a relevant point. Then you're right. Nobody wants to win more than Arsenal players, Arsenal fans, the manager.
Yeah.
I just think sometimes
one thing I don't do is criticize the players for this, by the way. This ain't the players' fault. There's no way this is the players' fault. I know you don't think it's the manager's fault, and you're right to believe that it's not essentially 100% his fault, but there's no way I can blame the players for this. No way, man. They're looking around. Look at Saliba, Gabriel, and Rice thinking, right, we're sorted it, man. We're stable. This is our trio for a long time. Who are we looking at? Sterling and Marino. Huh? Something's gone wrong here. What happened?
Yeah, but I blame the board once again. We were willing to pay 90 million for Mikel Mudryk, but we're not willing to pay 65 million for Ollie Watkins when we need a striker.
Facts.
Is that Arteta's problem? I don't think so. That's why
this is the thing. Like, I don't only. Okay, you asked me right at the start. Where do you think the sole blame is? I think it is the Kroenkes. It's not on Arteta. It's not 100% on Arteta. If it's any percentage, it's fully percentage-wise, the majority of the percentage is on the bloody ownership because this is their project.
I put it on the board. The board are the ones that decide things, and they've left us out.
Who employs the board? The Kroenkes do, bro.
Fair.
So this is like me saying, right, this is like me having a business and you're mucking around. And then there's 3 other lads. And the only problem is you. And I'm just going, and they're all saying, it's Egal. It's Egal. It needs to go. It needs to go. And they're coming up to me going, are you the owner? Yeah. Can you the one that can sack Egal? Yeah. And you're not going to? Nah. All right. But he hasn't done his job for like 3 years. I don't care. Whose problem is that? You or me for not sacking you? So this is my problem. It's the ownership, man. It all starts at the ownership level. And don't get me wrong, Egal. They have, since having total ownership, improved and allowed us to go and compete. That's absolutely facts, as is Arteta, right?
Can I show you this about
Can we
Arteta?
get us across the line? Can we get us across the line? That's what I want to know.
Coaching winning percentage. Sorry, I'm just trying to show this.
No, go on. That's cool.
Can you see that?
Yeah. I can just about see it, yeah.
This is coaching winning percentage per season. And just look at what Arteta did last season. Relatively fit, 28 wins, 5 draws, 5 losses. This season, we've had 9 draws. I genuinely believe majority of those draws also could have easily been wins. Think about the Man City game, the Liverpool game, the Brighton draw, the friggin' so many draws that we've had this season that we could have easily won. We're not that far off, bro. We're not that far off. This team is not that far removed from being 74% win percentage. What Arteta's been doing the last 4 years has been levels above majority of these past seasons.
Yeah, it's been progress, 100%.
Arsene Wenger's best season recently was the Leicester year when Leicester won the league. Like, and Arteta's past 2 seasons.
I appreciate that. No, look, I'm not, and this is where you get me wrong. You think I'm not looking at that and appreciating what Arteta has done to get us to challenging. My question is not what's your win percentage, Mikel. It's what can you win? What can you win? And in the cups, it's been a shambles, Egal. Come on, man. For 5 years, we have gone out to teams like Nottingham Forest and Brighton and Southampton. Yeah, we've lost to City, United and Liverpool who are good sides, but let's be real, majority of that was at home and we should have beaten them, right? Then we go into the Champions League.
I don't think he took the cup serious. I agree.
No, he didn't. And then you look at the Europa League. My goodness, what a shambles going out to Sporting Lisbon, Villarreal, Olympiacos. And then in the Champions League, we obviously got Bayern and crumbled. So we have definitely got a little bit of this pressure situation to us, mentality-wise. I've seen us go through games and I'm thinking, there we go. That's the mentality I want. And then I see us crumble again. And it's like, oh, you're letting me down, man. And this is what I feel with Mikel Arteta. I've been so close at times for him to go, I'll tell you what, go on, prove me wrong. Go on, go and bloody win it. I tell you, go and fucking win it. Yeah? Go beat Aston Villa, because that's all you needed to do. And he's bloody lost. And I'm thinking, you're joking. Okay, we'll beat Man United then, because that's a hard draw. Oh, we've lost again. Jesus Christ, this guy. Then we get Newcastle in a semi-final.
We've only lost 3 games all season. What are you talking about?
Say again?
We've only lost 3 games all season.
No. I'm talking about the last 5 years when he's let me down. I'm not talking about this just this year. So there's been examples across the whole of that 5 years.
I agree.
Well, so is United as well, man.
Here's my thoughts on the cups. My thoughts on the cups is he is trusting sometimes the benches in these games. For example, the Brighton game a couple of years ago, Nottingham Forest a couple of years ago. Some of these games that he's been trusting the bench. But then there's games where we're fully on top. We should win. We create the chances. This is where, coming back to not signing the right players and the strikers missing, the Liverpool game last year at home, another example of us not being toothless in front of goal, and then Liverpool winning the game based on Luis Diaz doing his thing. Similar to this year, Newcastle toothless in front of goal. If we just get ourselves a forward that can get us goals, or at least 2 more forwards going into next season, without weakening our midfield or defense too much, we win the league, bro. I don't think we're that far away. And I think we can win with Arteta.
Let's stick to this season, because you said we've only lost this amount of games this season.
One second. I just want to go back to 2023-2024 season. The reason why I believe Arsenal can win the league with Arteta is because what I've been able to see from Arsenal under Arteta for the last 2 years, 2022-2023 to 2023-2024, tells me that he is a good enough manager to get us to that certain level. I think he has had deficiencies in certain areas of the pitch, and no matter how much coaching you do, you just cannot coach quality into somebody who's not of that level. You need to buy quality in certain areas of the pitch. And that's what we need to do. We need to go and buy quality in the attacking third, and we will then be able to go and not only win, I see us potentially dominating in the future if we can go and get that attacking area pitch correct, because we have the defense. Defense wins you leagues. Offense wins you games. We don't have the fucking offense. I'm sorry for swearing, but that is where that's what lets us down. And that's where Liverpool separates themselves.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong with that statement. We definitely don't have the attack. We've lost 7 games this season, right? In all competitions. Out of those 7 games, there's only really been 2 that weren't massively under pressure. One of them was the Bournemouth away game where we went down to 10 men. The other one was the Newcastle away game in the Premier League where we lost, right? They were the only 2 games that I looked at where I was thinking, crikey, that's quite early to lose games. There wasn't much pressure then, but crikey, if we're losing this much already, what we're going to be like forever? The other ones, the other 5, have been either big mentality moments needed. San Siro away, lost. We've gone to
1 second. That was a 0-0 draw. We lost on penalties. You put respect on our name.
What do you mean we lost on penalties? We didn't go to penalties.
No, Inter. We lost on a penalty, 1 penalty.
That's what I'm saying. We lost the game though, right?
Bro, come on. What are you doing? It was a handball. Like
I don't care. We didn't get the job done.
Bro, that's not a game to point out and say that's a mentality issue. That was a small margins. You lost on pens. You lost by 1 penalty.
We were crap that game. Crap.
Yeah, but they were no better.
They won the game though. They found a way because Simeone does that.
Dan, I feel like there's so many other examples you could point at.
Okay, well, let's forget that one then. Let's forget that one then, right? I'll let you have that one. If you think we're unlucky, we're unlucky. We weren't unlucky at Bournemouth. We weren't unlucky at Newcastle away, right? That's 2. The other ones were...
I'll give you Newcastle, Bournemouth, we had a player sent off.
Yeah, but we were crap before that as well, right? Then you got Manchester United at home. Absolutely horrendously bad, right? Ødegaard misses a penalty. Kai Havertz misses a penalty. Kai Havertz dives to win a penalty. No excuses, horrendous.
The referee actually helped us, to be fair.
Exactly. Newcastle at home and Newcastle away, crumble. Absolutely shockingly bad, out of another competition. And then the other ones we lost, West Ham, absolutely no excuses, disgusting the other weekend. That was absolutely abysmal, right? Have I missed any?
Do you want to talk about the draws?
No, just the losses. We've lost 7. We've lost Inter Milan, West Ham,
Bro,
Bournemouth,
can we talk about the high standards?
What do you mean?
People talk about high standards at Arsenal. They say Arsenal don't have high standards. They make fun of our standards. But Arteta and Arsenal over the last 3 years have raised the bar to a level where, Dan, we're talking about 7 defeats as a terrible season.
No. I wasn't saying 7 defeats has been terrible. It's the draws that has let us down this season. The draws have let us down more than the losses. Draws kill your title race. Like if you're fine, you're going for a top 4. That's absolutely fine, right? So for me, I think you look at the situation right now and you think, right, we've lost 7 games across the season. It's not great, but it's by no means an absolute shambles, and the guy needs to go right now. Add 9 draws on that as well, and that's where the problem is. Because like you just said, you add those 9 draws, you take 5 of them and you turn them to wins. We're still in a title race. But now, because we keep drawing, and we will draw more games, by the way, because Everton away is not easy. Fulham at home is not easy. Neither is Chelsea or United, obviously, away. You've got Liverpool at Anfield, Newcastle again at home. We've lost them 3 times already this season. There's a lot of games coming up, and people said that we've got really easy games. We've got to play everybody in the top 10 by 2. It's not easy, man.
There's another thing. I know we shouldn't care what other people think about us, other fan bases think about us, but did you see the Chelsea protest?
Yes.
Did you see the poster from Dubs?
Got him on his channel, this guy.
Yeah, did you see it? That's Dubs. We're not Arsenal. We're not Arsenal.
Is that his name?
Win or fuck off.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah, Dobbs is his name, is it? We're not Arsenal, win or fuck off. I liked it, I can't lie. I don't like it, obviously, but I understand what he means. And
do you agree that that's what we are to these guys? We're basically, to them, we are now.
We are now, unfortunately.
We genuinely believe that.
All I will say is, right, Chelsea needs to be careful because that club are the most embarrassing club at the moment, in my opinion, right, alongside Manchester United, because they have actually gone 4 years without a trophy, right, and they're slating us for going 5 years without a trophy. So don't start copying us. They're actually turning into what they laugh about us at. They want a process now. They want time. They've spent 1.5 billion. They, at the moment, went absolutely mad at myself and LB for questioning the fact that their squad isn't actually that great. And now they want them all out. So what one is it then, at Chelsea fans? Because the 1 minute you're saying, oh, shut up, we're brilliant. Next minute you're going down marching with banners saying, get the owners out. They're a mess.
It's silly. They don't know what they want. But
No,
before we go any further on Chelsea, just bring it back to Arsenal. Do you honestly believe the club that we supported as a kid is no longer there and we are now spicy Spurs, as Deji likes to say?
I'm not going to go as far as spicy Spurs because we still win stuff and they don't. However, I will say this. It is complete different to when I started supporting Arsenal when I was growing up. Now, I'm lucky enough. I'm born in 87, so I didn't see 89, unfortunately. I'd love to have, and I didn't see 91, but I'd love to actually go back and watch 91 team because apparently it was outstanding. But obviously 93, 94 onwards, I saw us winning trophies. It was beautiful. It was Highbury. It was literally what I grew up on was George Graham football, Arsene Wenger football, unbelievable players, strikers. Do you know what's frustrating?
Was my first time.
There you go. So 98 double winning season, unbelievable. And do you know what's frustrating, Egal? The attackers that we've had at this club. That is the reason I supported these two behind me. Henry, Bergkamp, Ian Wright's my hero. One of the reasons I support.
We used to have Wiltord coming off the bench.
Van Persie, Carnu, Wiltord, Aubameyang even. They've all been attackers that would walk into most clubs in the world. Now, we're trying to go with Kai Havertz and Jesus. Let's just be real. I know we've tried to put appreciation on their names, but they were terrible signings, really, when you look at it. They've got nowhere near being the level of those strikers or attackers, right? So that's where we've got to be at, man. And I will say this. I feel like since the Kroenkes, 18 years now, it's not been the same. It's not been the same club. David Dein went, kind of the soul went out. The right-hand man went out of Arsene Wenger. He's looking around for his right-hand man. It's now Ivan Gazidis. You know, it gives Steve Bold over Pat Rice. None of that lasted. It was just disappearing. And this happens in football. It evolves. People move on. People start to it. But we are nowhere near competing to the level that we were since the Kroenkes have taken over. And I just think you've got to look at what Peter Hillwood and what David Dein had done at Arsenal and just go, wow, fair play. Because what we did was outstanding. And I loved it. I would go back in a heartbeat to those days. And as much as people like Arteta, and I actually admire you, Egal, because you're one of the very few that actually sticks by his guns and actually does believe in what he's saying. You get quite a lot of people that come for you, and I know people on my channel come for you as well. And I feel like you just stick by your guns and you say it how it is in your view. I wish I was a bit more like that, man. I wish I was a bit more of a believer. I wish I could sort of say, do you know what? I think Kevin guy's right. I think this guy's right. You know, yeah. R.I.P. to Kev. And I think I can't. I can't do it because in front of my eyes, I'm seeing no trophies every year. And do you know what? I could have kind of get behind it in the last 5 if he would have said, look, I know I want the big one. I want the Champions League. I want the Prem. I've won a couple of FA Cups. I've won a League Cup like Klopp did, but I'm not ready yet to get across the majors. I go, do you know what? At least he's installing some winning mentality into this side, and we will get there one day with a couple more players. But at the moment, I'm seeing him dumping us out of the domestic cups and not taking them seriously, not winning in Europa League or in Champions League, and failing at every hurdle each season to try and get us across the line. And that's the only thing I go by is the evidence in front of me. That's the only thing.
This is the last summer for me. If Arsenal don't sort it out, I'm going to do a video asking Arteta to resign for his own career.
Wow.
Because if this board don't go and back Arteta for what he has done for the last 3 years and they don't get him the tools needed to go win, he should go elsewhere to go get the tools needed to go win. And I generally think a lot of the fans who are saying, go get Inzaghi, go get what's it called? All these other guys. Troops posted a picture of two managers. Like, I don't know if any of these guys come into our team today and get us over the line. But one thing I do know is I think this team is ready to win. I think the players are ready to win. It's getting to a stage where if we do not back this team, it's negligence, and some of these players are going to start leaving. And when that happens, honestly, we're going to go back to mediocrity. And I don't want us to get back to that stage before we start winning. We need to start winning. And I acknowledge that. Everyone who thinks, oh, Egal, you just back Arteta. No, because I think we are so close to getting to a stage where it's like constant success, that I don't want to change it up too much. I don't want to rock the boat too much. But some people are saying you need to shake that nest and get a new manager in. The reason why I disagree is because I feel like a lot of these guys are here and staying in this position and re-signing because their belief in the manager. I think the summer transfer window, the reason why we're getting Zubamendi, we're going to get Nico Williams, we're going to get some of these guys because of Arteta. And right now we haven't won. Arne Slot is just about to win the Liverpool his first league title and is shitting on us. But the main reason why I'm giving Arteta and Arsenal a pass this year, and I've changed my stance, is because of the injuries, the refereeing decisions, and I'm hopeful that another summer where we strengthen, we can go again.
Look, I hope that you're right and I'm wrong. I've always said that all along. I want you to be right out of everyone in the fan base, because you know what? It's not about right or wrong. It's about winning. And we all want to win. I have different ways of opinions of getting there. You have different opinions of getting there. If it was me, I would want an ownership that come in and brought in a winning mentality manager like a Simone Inzaghi or a Carlo Ancelotti and provided them with the funds to get us across the line. And then if you've got the funds and you've got the team and you've got the manager, usually you have success of it. I think where you and I are different with it is that you are kind of still living the dream of Arteta doing the unthinkable with a young side and winning it ahead of everyone else. And I'd love that. Trust me, I would. But I have to look at it realistically, Egal, and I have to say that I don't see that happening. I hope I'm wrong. I hope next season we win it all. But I just do not see it happening, bro. I really don't.
I don't know if we're gonna win it all. Let's try to get something first. Anyways, we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. Big up, Dan. Shout out to you every single time, man. Thank you for this, and hopefully we can catch you on another time. Big up everyone in the comment section. And yeah, these guys love having conversations whenever we drop points, man. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. People in the chat, come on, bro. You don't have to say stuff like that. What are we doing? What are we doing?
What are you watching, bro? What are you watching? Go.
If you don't like me, you don't have to watch. Anyways, we're out of here, people. Catch you in the next one. Peace.